Thinking about moving to Florida's Treasure Coast, you may have heard about the beaches, the lifestyle, and the tax benefits, but there are a few things that you may not know that may make or break your move. I'm Lainey Gunning. I'm your real estate guide here on the Treasure Coast, Florida. I help buyers relocate from all over the country and move with confidence. Whether you're headed to Hobe Sound, Stewart, Port Saint Lucie, or Vero Beach, or anywhere in between, there are a few key details about buying a home in Florida that most people don't find out until they're deep in the process. So today, I'm breaking down 5 things that you may not know about moving here. From how deals are closed to who might be moving here, and it's not always the snowbirds, and why timing could be everything. Number 1 is Florida is not considered an attorney state. So what that means is when we close our real estate transactions, we typically use a title company. Most of the title companies do have an attorney who sits on staff. However, if you prefer to have an attorney review your contract, you are well within your right to do so. It's just not standard practice here. Standard practice is closing with a title company. Number 2 is the inspection period. So in Florida, the inspection period is a time frame. It usually runs between 7 and 10 days. I've seen it run longer. I've seen it be shorter. Sellers, of course, are going to try to negotiate this be as short of a time frame as possible because their home is off the market. Buyers, this is a fantastic opportunity to inspect your home. You should never waive this time frame. However, the great thing about it from a buyer's perspective is you can cancel for any reason and get your earnest money deposit back. So you can just have an inspection, I don't like the paint, and send a cancellation and release. No questions asked, no nothing. The earnest money deposit must be returned. Number 3, cash. Cash is king, and a lot of people start coming down to Florida. They've sold their home and they have a lot of cash from the sale of their home, and they believe that this is going to give them an edge up and a huge bargaining opportunity with a seller. And the reality is cash on the Treasure Coast is used over 50% of the time in a transaction, so it's much more common. And you want to remember that to a seller, it's all cash in the end. Whether we use financing or the buyer brings cash, it's all cash to the seller in the end. Though cash transactions do typically go a little quicker and a little bit smoother, so that is an advantage. However, it's not the end-all be-all to the negotiating. Number 4 is who's moving to the Treasure Coast. It's not just the snowbirds. Certainly our high season is going to be November through April, and there is a lot of activity with snowbirds buying second homes, winter homes, and starting the retirement process for sure. However, there is a significant activity coming up from the southern areas of Florida for a better lifestyle, cost of living, and just a slower pace. And those are people moving up from the Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach areas. So the activity is consistent and it's starting to level out as far as numbers moving up from the south and snowbirds moving into the area. And finally, number 5. So this is going to cover our time frame when you'll see listings increase the most on the Treasure Coast in Florida. So typically across the country, spring brings more listings, and on the Treasure Coast, you're going to see the most activity for listings in our first quarter, which is of course going to be January through April. And of course, that's our peak season and when our snowbirds are here. If the Treasure Coast is on your radar, now you've got some insider insight that most don't hear about until they're under contract. Whether you're still exploring or ready to make a move, I would love to be your local real estate guide. Drop a comment below or simply put info in the comments and I will send you my real estate guide to living on the Treasure Coast. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video.